11. Now Jephthah the Gileadite was a brave warrior. His mother was a prostitute, but Gilead was his father. Gilead's wife also gave him sons. When his wife's sons grew up, they made Jephthah leave and said to him, "You are not going to inherit any of our father's wealth because you are another woman's son." So Jephthah left his half-brothers and lived in the land of Tob. Lawless men joined Jephthah's gang and traveled with him. It was some time after this when the Ammonite fought with Israel. When the Ammonites attacked, the leaders of Gilead asked Jephthah to come back from the land of Tob. They said, "Come be our commander so we can fight with the Ammonites." Jephthah said to the leaders of Gilead, "But you hated me and made me leave my father's house. Why do you come to me now when you are in trouble?" The leaders of Gilead said to Jephthah, "That may be true, but now we pledge to you our loyalty. Come with us and fight with the Ammonites. Then you will become the leader of all who live in Gilead." Jephthah said to the leaders of Gilead, "All right. If you take me back to fight the Ammonites and the Lord gives them to me, I will be your leader." The leaders of Gilead said to Jephthah, "The Lord will judge any grievance you have against us if we do not do as you say." So Jephthah went with the leaders of Gilead. The people made him their leader and commander. Jephthah repeated the terms of the agreement before the Lord at Mizpah. Jephthah sent messengers to the Ammonite king, saying, "Why have you come against me to attack my land?" The Ammonite king said to Jephthah's messenger, "Because Israel stole my land when they came up from Egypt, from the Arnon River to the south to Jacob River in the north, as far west as the Jordan. Now return it peaceably." Jephthah sent messengers back to the Ammonite king and said to him, "This is what Jephthah said. Israel did not steal the land of Moab and the land of the Ammonites when they left Egypt. Israel traveled through the desert as far as the Red Sea and then came to Kadesh. Israel sent messengers to the king of Edom saying, 'Please allow us to pass through your land.' But the king of Edom rejected the request. Israel sent the same request to the king of Moab, but he was unwilling to cooperate. So Israel stayed at Kadesh. Then Israel went through the wilderness and bypassed the land of Edom and the land of Moab. They traveled east of the land of Moab and camped on the other side of the Arnon River. They did not go through Moab territory. The Arnon was Moab's border. Israel sent messengers to King Sihon, the Amorite king who ruled in Heshbon, and said to him, "Please allow us to pass through your land." But Sihon did not trust Israel to pass through his territory. He assembled the whole army, camped at Jahaz, and fought with Israel. The Lord God of Israel handed Sihon and his whole army over to Israel, and they defeated them. Israel took all the land of the Amorites who lived in the land. They took all the Amorite territory from the Arnon River on the south, the Jabbok River on the north, from the desert in the east to the Jordan in the west. Since the Lord God of Israel has driven out the Amorites before the people Israel, do you think you can just take it from them? You have the right to take what Chemosh, your God, gives you, but we will take the land of all whom the Lord our God has driven out before us. Are you really better than Balak, son of Zippor, king of Moab? Did he dare to quarrel with Israel? Did he dare to fight with them? Israel has been living in Heshbon and in nearby towns, in Aurora and its nearby towns, and in all the cities along the Arnon for 300 years. Why did you not reclaim them during that time? I have not done you wrong, but you are doing wrong by attacking me. May the Lord, the judge this day between Israel and the Ammonites. But the Ammonite king disregarded the message sent by Jephthah. The Lord's Spirit empowered Jephthah. He passed through Gilead and Manasseh and went to Mizpah in Gilead. From there, he approached the Ammonites. Jephthah made a vow to the Lord, saying, if you really do hand the Ammonites over to me, then whoever is the first to come through the doors of my house to meet me when I return safely from fighting the Ammonites, he will belong to the Lord, and I will offer him up as a burnt sacrifice. Jephthah approached the Ammonites to fight with them, and the Lord handed them over to him. He defeated them from Aroer all the way to Minnith, 20 cities in all, even as far as Abel-Kiriam. He wiped them out. The Israelites humiliated the Ammonites. When Jephthah came home to Mizpah, there was his daughter hurrying out to meet him, dancing to the rhythm of tambourines. She was his only child. Except for her, he had no sons or daughters. When he saw her, he ripped his clothes and said, "Oh no, my daughter, you have completely ruined me. You have brought disaster on me. I made an oath to the Lord, and I cannot break it." She said to him, "My father, since you made an oath to the Lord, do to me as you promised. After all, the Lord vindicated you before your enemies, the Ammonites." She then said to her father, "Please grant me this one wish. For 2 months, allow me to walk through the hills with my friends and mourn my virginity." He said to her, "You may go." He permitted her to leave. For 2 months, she went with her friends and mourned her virginity as she walked through the hills. After 2 months, she returned to her father, and he did to her as he had vowed. She died a virgin. Her tragic death gave rise to a custom in Israel. Every year, Israelite women commemorate the daughter of Jephthah, the Gileadite, for 4 days. Okay, that's interesting. Why 4 days? She's 2 months in the, out in the, celebrating and going through the fields and whatever else in the forest, and that's just weird. Why 4 days? Okay. Joel, welcome in. Good to see you, buddy. Sounds like how we treat God. Leave when we don't need you, but we ask you to come back when you need. Oh, yeah, we do the same. Remind you of the Rudolph story. Rejected at first, then pleads him to come back. I never thought about that, Omega. That's an interesting. Yeah, it is. I like how you say bum, bum, bum in the voice during the time. Thank you, Jim Bim. You think you'd seen that one emote quite a while ago and wondered what it was before okay, bum, bum, bum. You saw the emote but didn't know what it was? Yes. It's not the easiest to read, but it's fun. So it's B-U-M-P, B-U-M-B, B-U-M. So you may not notice that I make a difference. So it's bump, bump, bum. So it's PB and then M. So you might not pick that up, but that's actually when I say it fast, I'm trying to do. Okay, so we have an illegitimate son who's not counted. Now, the interesting thing is, up to this point in history, we haven't necessarily seen that we have people who are marrying, like Abraham is marrying his half-sister, not a problem. We have sons of Abraham being honored and given kingdoms, but they don't get inheritance. So there's an inheritance issue there with illegitimate children, but otherwise not so much a problem. But here they go further. They chase away the illegitimate son. Maybe they know the story of Gideon, and that's why they chase away the illegitimate son, because when they didn't, that one rose up against them. So this could be a reaction to the Gideon story and Abimelech doing stuff. So that might be why they're chasing Jephthah away, because they're worried about the situation being, revisited on them. So maybe not the best plan, but maybe a little bit legitimate. Yeah, if, bum, bum, bum. Oh, the if one. Yeah, if is fun. Omega, ouch, poor girl, but what character demonstration in the reverence she showed. Yeah. Now, let's go. Well, we'll read through the first part. We'll spend some time probably after the ad break on that. Southside TV Love, your channel is such a blessing to me. Thank you, Pastor. I want to thank you today. I want to say thank you. You wish and pray blessing upon you. Not wish, I pray blessing upon you. Yeah, and yours, because God knows who we are in our heart. God knows we're lost. I prayed for someone, and God sent me here, and I've been watching for a minute. It took this tragedy to wake you up, and you're still coming, and you're still going to grow. I cuss a lot. I do a lot more stuff. Well, Southside TV Love, God comes to us right where we are, and I'm not who I was 10 years ago, and I hope I will be a better person in 10 years. Yeah, I'm a sinner, and you're just growing to be a better person that I was supposed to be. Your story will be told because it needs to be heard to save somebody else. But Jesus can save you. Absolutely, Southside TV Love. Love that. Okay, we got... All right, so in Judges 11, we have the illegitimate son is chased away, but then they need him. He ends up being a mighty warrior. He goes and he lives in the land of Tob, which sounds like Job. So what does Tob mean? Where is it at? There it is. Verse 3. Come on, I'm clicking. Oh, I'm just slightly off. Fled to the land of Tob. God is Tob good. I think this means good. Yes, it's good. My brain worked. It took me a minute.
Strong's H 2897. Tov.
You forgot to give him when you remembered because you've brain injury. You forgot things. Sometimes I'm sorry. I just remembered that I have a Prime and it's free. So why not give it away to who I care about the most? And I care about you. Not that I know you from Adam, but I care and you care. And I can tell. Oh, thank you, Southside TV Love. I appreciate that very much. So anyway, this is how I, like, all of a sudden it came to me. So the song, God is so good, I would sing it, God is Tob good, Tov good. So the B was throwing me off. So the B and the V will switch when you have the word, don't ask me why, but it does. So it's Tov is my brain. So it still means the same thing. So there's a difference between the verb, the noun, the place, those kinds of things. So he goes to the land of good because he was chased away from his family. And he has lawless men who come around him. Then he's requested to come. He makes all these negotiations with them because he maybe doesn't believe it, but he wants to do them. And then he makes them before God at Mizpah, I think it was. Let me scroll down. Yes, at Mizpah, he makes all of those. And we get very little of the story other than he delivers them because the main part of this is not that. So, but also what's fun, what is super fun, look at how well he knows his history. We have this banter of things going back and forth between the king saying that you took my land, sends messengers to the Ammonite king. And it all ends up with, here's what happened. We tried to do this. We didn't try to take your land. You attacked us 300 years ago. And we've been living there ever since because you came against us. Okay? So it wasn't us coming against you. You came against us. And he gives this whole big, long history lesson, which to me, that was just super fun. And we tried to do this, but they wouldn't let us. So we tried to go here, and that didn't happen. So we tried to come to you, and you attacked us. Like, it's just like great storytelling here on his part. So the bulk of what we have here is in the middle of the book of Judges when the people are not remembering who God is we have, he can recall the entire story of God. You know what we should do is go look up what Jephthah means, but when we get to his daughter, we'll go look up his daughter's name as well. So we'll just pause that for a minute and come back to it. So the Lord's Spirit empowered Jephthah. He passed through Gilead and Manasseh and went to Mizpah to Gilead to approach the Ammonites. So he is moving forward, and he makes a vow to God saying, if you really do hand the Ammonite over to me, then whoever is the first to come through the doors of my house to meet me when I return safely from fighting the Ammonites, he will belong to the Lord, and I will offer him up as a burnt sacrifice. So let's look at what we have here in the text. The one coming out, who comes out from, the text uses a masculine singular participle with prefixed articles, followed by a relative pronoun, third person masculine singular. The superlative masculine singular participle, the one coming out, is used everywhere as inanimate objects such as a desert, a word, or a person. In each case, context must determine the referent. Jephthah may have envisioned an animal meeting him, since the construction of Iron Age houses would allow for animals to come through the doors of the house. But the fact that he actually does offer up his daughter indicates the language of the vow is fluid enough to encompass human beings, including women. He probably intended such an offering from the very beginning, but he obviously did not expect his daughter to come and meet him first. So he's making a vow, and if he's, like, here's my thought on some level. If he's intending the vow to be an animal, then wouldn't he not sacrifice his daughter, because he's not saying, I will sacrifice my daughter, and oh no, I got caught in this? Like, so on some level, he must have been able, or must have been thinking it didn't matter who it was that came through. Now, if he had just stated, he will belong to the Lord, and stop there. He will belong to the Lord. He could have put his daughter in the service of the temple. That would have made sense. Let me actually get here to the he. The language is fluid enough, including women and perhaps even animals, but the translation uses masculine pronouns because the Hebrew form is grammatically masculine. So here it could be, redeemed a raid, Mad Mama's Farm. I'm not sure he will still be streaming when you get done streaming yourself, but you can use for a shout out for him. He's working on affiliate, Forged by Grace 7. Totally up to you, want to do this, but you can keep the points used. Cool. Let's give a shout out to him. Trying to get that right. Forged by Grace 7. There, we'll give a shout out. Oh, trying to work on affiliate. Cool. If he's up, we'll go there. I've seen him in a few people's streams. I didn't know he's a streamer, so that would make sense. He's working on affiliate. Okay. So here's the promise, right? He's making the promise to God. He just started a few days ago. Okay. Did you tell him about Blessing Boat? That'd be a great place for him to go. By the way, exclamation point BB. There we go. So he goes, he defeats him. We get very little about the defeat. The defeat is easy. We get a whole bunch of the taunting. We get a history lesson in there. We get a promise of this vow. And now we're going to focus on the vow. Now, he comes home. His daughter is hurrying out to meet him, dancing to the rhythm of tambourines. Like, the tambourine and dancing. So she's celebrating. Now, she's the only child. He has no other sons or daughters. I mean, like, it's definitely making sure that you know this. He rips his clothes. Why? Because he made a vow, and he's going to hold on to this vow. What's interesting is she asked for, let me go and mourn my virginity for 2 months. Go to the hills with my friends and mourn my virginity for 2 months. Now, like, our brain, I think, is going the wrong way. Like, oh no, I've never had sex. No. I think hers is, I've never had a child. I've never had a child. That's what she's mourning, is I never got to be a mother. I think that's what it's mourning, not I didn't get to have sex. So mourning the virginity is that she did not get married, did not have children. She did not pass on an heir. Let me go mourn that. So she goes with her friends for 2 months. Now, Sandra Galan, I think I can never get the last name correct, does a whole thing on this and dives into it a whole lot deeper in some ways, which is really fascinating. I just don't remember all that she has explored in this realm of doing this. But to our ears, this sounds horrible. Why would you sacrifice your daughter on an altar? God does not want human sacrifice. The fact God doesn't want human sacrifice, wouldn't that mean you don't have to do it? You do not have to do it, and nor should you do it. You should, because remember what happens when you have a firstborn that is born. So all males need to be sacrificed, but your firstborn, you offer an animal in place of the firstborn. So why could he not offer up a young lamb in her place as a substitute? I think he could have and kept the vow, because if you are going to have a firstborn son, you redeem them by offering an animal. So I think he could have. He doesn't see that. Maybe in his heart it would be violating it, so he doesn't. But offering a kid doesn't seem like it's God honoring. Even if it's following through the letter of the vow, I don't feel like God would want that. So, you haven't told him about the Blessing Boat. Yes, Blessing Boat does have a Discord. Oh, no. Don't worry about off topic. I do that myself. Yeah, no problem with the rabbit tutorials. Yeah. Well, it's blessingboat.com. Oh, there we go. We got a shout out for Blessing Boat. Oh, no. Yeah. Twitch.tv/blessingboat or blessingboat.com. Yes, God stopped Abraham when he went to kill Isaac just because he said kill him. He just wanted to see where his heart was. Yeah. And so wouldn't that have been amazing if we had the story here? He goes to sacrifice his daughter and God stops him. Says, no, you don't need to do that. But the story just ends there. And every year, like I said, let me see if they have something on the footnotes here on the 4 days. The Hebrew text in the year, this is a redundant note every year at the beginning of the verse and has not been included in the translation for stylistic reasons. Oh, okay. So every year, Israelite women commemorate the daughter of Jephthah, the Gileadite, 4 days every year. So they just don't put the every year again because it's redundant. From days to days, the Hebrew idiom for annually, go to commemorate, the rare Hebrew verb to tell, to repeat, to recount, occur only here. So anyway, I don't think Jephthah needed to do the vow. Like I said, I think he could have honored it by having an animal. I don't think he needed to sacrifice his daughter. I don't think he should have sacrificed his daughter. But we are left with this in the story, and I think here's the thing. You made a vow to God, you honor the vow to God. That's the point of it. So even if we don't like it, that's what this story is trying to tell us. In the midst of people who are doing what is right in their own sight. Yep, he said a vow with the intent of an animal coming out, but the vow is worded in such a way that whatever comes out first, I will sacrifice. His daughter comes out first. He honors his vow. He is a man of integrity. That's what we are to see. Though tragic, though horrible, man of integrity. The other thing interesting is she asked for 2 months. He lets her have 2 months. Why didn't he give her more? Why didn't he let her have more? Yes, his heart seems right. Absolutely. And again, it would have been beautiful if God would have came and asked and intervened and stopped it. But God wasn't the one that asked him to do it in the first place. So God already knew his heart in some ways. So tragic story, that's for sure. Like I said, I've heard Sandra Galan, I think it's Sandra Galan. Let me just